This call is now being recorded. So now, in the today's lecture, we will discuss regenerative air refrigeration system. The regenerative air refrigeration system is the modified simple air refrigeration system in which we use two heat exchanger as air cooler. So first thing you should note that this regenerative air refrigeration system is modified सिंपल एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन सिस्टम. जो सिस्टम हमने सबसे पहले पढ़ा था उसी का ये मॉडिफाइड वर्जन है. इसमें क्या होता है, टू हीट एक्सचेंजर यूज करते हैं एज एयर कूलर. सो इन द सिंपल एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन सिस्टम वी यूज सिंगल हीट एक्सचेंजर एज अ एयर कूलर, बट in this regenerative air refrigeration system we use two heat exchanger. Okay, in the first air cooler the compressed air cooled by ram air, similar to the simple air refrigeration system. In the simple air refrigeration system also, in the air cooler the compressed air is cooled with the ram air. So in this also, in the first air cooler the compressed air cooled by the ram air. However, in second air cooler does not use ram air for cooling of compressed gas. So we use ram air for the in the first air cooler, but in the second air cooler we do not use the ram air for the cooling. So let's look the schematic diagram of this regenerative air refrigeration system. So first step is clear. Similar, first 1 to 2 is ram compression or isentropic compression due to the ram effect. When the ambient air enter into the aircraft, there is a initial compression due to the ram effect. Since the ambient air has the kinetic energy with respect to aircraft, and when this air enter into the aircraft, its velocity becomes zero with respect to aircraft. So its kinetic energy convert into the enthalpy, and this is known as ram effect, due to which its pressure will increase. So 1 to 2 is the isentropic compression, and at point 2 we have ram air. This ram air enter into the jet compressor. Okay, and this is the common compressor for the refrigeration cycle and engine. So this ram air is compressed in the jet compressor isentropically, and its pressure will increase from P2 to P3. So some part of the air will transfer to the engine and some part is taken out for the refrigeration purpose. Now this high temperature and high pressure air enter into the first air cooler. So here we have two air cooler. This is first air cooler and this is second air cooler. So this is second air cooler and this is first air cooler. Okay, so now air is enter into the first air cooler where it reject it heat at constant pressure. So it's a isobaric heat rejection process, and this in this heat exchanger, heat is rejected by exchanging its heat with the ram air. So ram air is entering here in the first air cooler, and it is responsible for the heat rejection from the compressed air. So 3 to 4 is the isobaric heat rejection, and at point 4 we have low temperature in comparison to 3, but the pressure remains same. Now this air enter into the second air cooler. So it enter into the second air cooler, and its temperature is further decreased 4 to 5. Again pressure remain constant since the process is isobaric heat rejection. After that this air enter into the cooling turbine where it get expand isentropically, and its pressure and temperature is decreased. So its pressure is decreased up to cabin pressure, since we have to supply this air to the cabin, and in this way we also maintain the pressurization of the cabin. Now, but the entire air will not send to the cabin. We will not send entire air to the cabin. Some part of the air will send into the cabin, and some part is taken for the cooling, to produce the cooling effect in the secondary air cooler. So we take some part of the air which is responsible for the cooling in the secondary air cooler. So some part of the air is going into the secondary air cooler, and which is responsible for the heat rejection in the secondary air. So point to be noted, in the first air cooler, the heat rejection is take place with the help of this ram air entering into the first air cooler. But in the second air cooler, we use the cooled air, which is the outlet of the cooling turbine. So this temperature is very low, and with the help of this air, we are doing the heat extraction from this air. Okay, now let's see the TS diagram. After that, we will again discuss this schematic diagram. So if you see this schematic diagram, it is similar to the similar to the simple air refrigeration system, except this secondary air cooler. So if we remove this secondary air cooler, this is similar to the simple air refrigeration system. Okay, and the work generated by the turbine is utilized to run a fan, and this fan draw the ram air through the first air cooler. Okay. So first we have different pressures: ambient pressure, ram pressure, air cooler pressure, and cabin pressure. Okay. So first, air is compressed from the ambient pressure to the ram pressure due to the ram effect, and this is isentropic compression. And then 2 to 3 is isentropic compression in the jet compressor. Okay. Then air is cooled in the first air cooler with the help of ram air. So 3 to 4 is the isobaric heat rejection in the first air cooler. Okay. And after that, this air is enter into the secondary air cooler, where it reject its heat. Okay. So at the outlet of this secondary air cooler, we have very low temperature. Okay. And this air is now again sent into the cooling turbine, where this air expand isentropically, and its temperature, its pressure decrease up to cabin pressure. Okay, and its temperature is also decreased. And then last, it will absorb heat from the cabin and produce the refrigeration effect. So this is the TS diagram of regenerative air refrigeration system. So the process 1 to 2 is isentropic compression or ram compression. Process 2 to 3 is isentropic compression in the jet compressor. Process 3 to 4 is isobaric heat rejection in the first air cooler. And process 4 to 5, isobaric heat rejection in the second air cooler. And last, 5 to 6, isentropic expansion in the turbine. And the last, process 6 to 7 is refrigeration effect or isobaric heat absorption. Okay, so this is the TS diagram. Let's look the schematic diagram again. So now, suppose the mass of air which is coming from the jet compressor or entering into the first air cooler is m1, m.1. So this is the mass flow rate, m.1, which is entering into the first air cooler. Okay. Now, so the mass which is entering into the second air cooler is also m.1. Okay. And the mass entering into the cooling turbine is also a m.1. And at the outlet of the turbine, we have the mass flow rate m.1. Now, we divide this air into two parts. So, we take m.a for the cooling purpose in the cabin, and the remaining part is utilized to remove the heat in the secondary air cooler. So, how much mass is transferred to the secondary air cooler? Yes.
M1 minus MA.
M1 minus MA, very correct. So the mass is transferring to the secondary air cooler for the heat removal is m.2, or we can say m.1 minus m.a. And point to be noted, the refrigeration effect is produced with the mass m.a. So when we are calculating the refrigeration effect, we will take the mass m.a. But when we are calculating the compression work, we will consider the mass m dot 1, because we are compressing the air which has the mass flow rate of m dot 1, and the air which is producing the cooling effect has a mass flow rate of m dot a. This is very important. Okay. So this is the working of regenerative air refrigeration system. I have already explained. First, ambient air get isentropic compression due to the ram effect. Then this ram air sent into the jet compressor, and some part of the ram air is bleed for the cooling of this compressed air in the first air cooler. So in the first air cooler, the cooling is done with the help of ram air. After that, the compressed air is further cooled in the secondary air cooler by exchanging its heat with a part of air bleed from the expander or turbine air expanded from the turbine. Okay, so in the secondary air cooler, we use the air which is coming out from the turbine. The air from the secondary air cooler expanded in the cooling turbine. So after that, the outlet of the secondary air cooler enter into the turbine, where it get isentropically expand, and its temperature and pressure is decreased, and it will use to produce the refrigeration effect. And this system is most suitable for the ground cooling, or this is very suitable for a high-speed aircraft. Okay. So we have already seen this TS diagram. Now we have to calculate the COP of this regenerative air refrigeration system. So can you tell me what is the COP of this air refrigeration system, the regenerative air refrigeration system? What is the cooling effect? So COP, how we define COP? How we define COP? Yes?
So desired effect upon network.
Desired effect upon network, required work. Okay, so this is the desired effect and this is the work required. So can you tell me what is the desired effect? How much refrigeration effect is produced?
Sir, m
Yes?
dot A Cp T7 minus T6.
Yes, very good. M dot A Cp T7 minus T6. Very good. And what is the compression work?
Sir,
What is the
M1
compression work?
Sir, M1 dot Cp T3 minus T2.
M1 dot Cp T3 minus T2. Very good. So this is the compression work, M dot Cp T3 minus T2, and the refrigeration effect is M dot A Cp T7 minus T6. So we will consider mass flow rate M dot A, which is entering into the cabin, and we are compressing the total mass M dot 1. So COP will be M dot A Cp T7 minus T6 divided by M dot 1 Cp T3 minus T2. That is clear? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
हेलो सर
Yes.
सर 5 to 6 में से 6 पे लो प्रेशर हो जाएगा ना सर?
Yes.
और सर
Equal
हम
to
एम
the, equal to the cabin pressure.
और हम सर ब्लीड करेंगे इसे 4 में, तो सर प्रेशर डिफरेंस नहीं होगा सर वहां पे?
देखो, this is the heat exchanger. Okay, this is the heat exchanger. Okay, and the high pressure gas flow inside a tube. Okay, so the pressure P4 or P5, which is equal to P3, is maintained inside this tube. But inside this secondary air cooler, this high pressure is inside this tube, but inside this air cooler, the pressure is low. Okay, and this air enter into the atmosphere and leave to the atmosphere. So there is a pressure, already a pressure difference. Okay, this is a closed tube. ये एक अलग लाइन है, यहां पर प्रेशर कुछ और है. Similarly, you can see here is the pressure P3 and here is the pressure P2, but this air enter into this air cooler or heat exchanger because these are two different lines. The pressure P3 or P4 maintained inside this line. That is clear or not? If
Yes, sir.
this air cooler is like this, अगर ये यहां पर 4 पॉइंट पर ओपन होता, डायरेक्टली आके एक्सपेंड कर रही होती यहां पर, then in the secondary air cooler the pressure is P4, then this air will not enter into this air cooler. Okay, since the pressure is P4, but this P4 pressure is inside this line. That is clear? That is clear?
Yes, sir.
So now move to the last air refrigeration system, which is reduced ambient air refrigeration system. So you can see the schematic diagram of this reduced ambient air refrigeration system. So initially, first air enter into the aircraft and there is an initial compression, isentropic compression due to the ram effect, and we have ram air at point 2, and this air enter into the jet compressor where isentropic compression of this air occur, and at 3 point we have high pressure and high temperature air. Now this high pressure and high temperature air enter into the air cooler, and after that its temperature will reduce and the pressure remains same since the process is isobaric heat rejection, and after this air is sent into the cooling turbine. Okay, now in this cooling turbine the air will expand isentropically and its pressure and temperature is decreased. So pressure will decrease up to the cabin pressure, so that with the decrease in pressure temperature is also decreased, and this air is utilized to produce the refrigeration effect, similar to the simple air refrigeration system. Okay, but here the work generated by the turbine is utilized to run a fan and another turbine. Okay, so the work produced by the turbine is utilized to run a fan and to run a turbine. So we have a assembly, a mechanism which is responsible to run a fan and a turbine by the work produced by this turbine. So the work produced by the turbine is transferred with the help of with the gear to this turbine, and this fan, and this turbine is produce work. And since at this point we have pressure P2, since at this point we have pressure P2, and this ram air is enter into this turbine and it is also produce the work. So the work produced by both the turbine is utilized to run the fan. Okay, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा गलत हो गया था, जो दोनों टर्बाइन वर्क प्रोड्यूस कर रही हैं वो फैन को रन करने के काम आ रहा है. ओके, अब देखिए, इनिशियली द आउटलेट एम्बिएंट प्रेशर इज P1, ambient pressure is too low, and when initial compression is occur, the pressure will increase from P1 to P2. So at this point P2 we have a higher pressure in comparison to ambient air. Okay, and this reduced ambient air refrigeration system is used in a supersonic aircraft. In the supersonic aircraft moves with a supersonic velocity. Okay, so it means the velocity of the aircraft is very, very high. So the kinetic energy is converted into the enthalpy. So it means the pressure P2 is more in comparison to other air refrigeration system. अगर हम compare करें other air refrigeration systems से, तो यहाँ पर जो RAM pressure होगा वो भी ज्यादा होगा. क्यों? क्योंकि इन जो एयरक्राफ्ट था उसकी काइनेटिक एनर्जी ज्यादा है. सुपरसोनिक वेलोसिटी, जहां पर सुपरसोनिक वेलोसिटी से एयरक्राफ्ट चलते हैं, वहां पर ये रिड्यूस्ड एम्बिएंट एयर सिस्टम यूज होता है. ओके, तो हमारे पास क्या है, जो हमारे पास रैम एयर है वो हाई प्रेशर पे है, इनिशियली जो हमारे पास रैम एयर है वो हाई प्रेशर पे है, और ये हाई प्रेशर एयर हम भेजते हैं टरबाइन में। टरबाइन में क्या होता है, क्योंकि इनिशियली हाई प्रेशर है और यहाँ पर इसको एक्सपेंड करा जाता है। जब इसका एक्सपेंशन होता है तो वर्क प्रोड्यूस होता है, उस वर्क को भी हम यूटिलाइज कर रहे हैं टू रन अ फैन। ओके, सो work produced by both the turbine is utilized to run the fan. Now, after the expansion, the pressure will decrease. And with the decrease in pressure, temperature is also decreased. Now, at the outlet of this first turbine, we have low temperature air, which is responsible for the cooling in the air cooler. So this low temperature air removes the air from the compressed air. Okay. Now this air will leave the aircraft with the help of this fan, since the pressure is decreased. Okay. We have also seen that in the boot air refrigeration system, the boot air refrigeration system is generally used in the high speed aircraft. And in the bootstrap air refrigeration system, we do not require this fan, since the ram pressure is high. Okay, but in this system, we utilize a turbine to expand this air. So pressure will decrease. So we again required a fan, and this fan is run with the help of the work produced by both the turbines. Okay, so the work produced by both the turbine is utilized to run this fan. Now let's see the TS diagram. Then we will again discuss this schematic diagram. So initially we have different pressures. This is ambient pressure, this is ram pressure, this is cabin pressure, and this is air cooler pressure. So initially the air is compressed due to the ram effect, 1 to 2 isentropic compression. Then 2 to 3 is isentropic compression in the jet compressor. Okay. Now this air enter into the air cooler. Now in the air cooler, the temperature is significantly decreased. So if you compare with this cycle with the simple air refrigeration system, in the simple air refrigeration system, our outlet of the temperature of the outlet of the air cooler at the outlet of the air cooler is this much. But in this reduced ambient air system, the temperature is significantly decreased. Why it is significantly decreased? Because we are expanding this ram air, due to which its temperature is sufficiently decreased, and this is responsible for this cooling. After that, this air enter into the turbine, where it get expand and its pressure and temperature is decreased. And last, it will produce the refrigeration effect in the cabin. So the first process is ram compression or isentropic compression due to the ram effect. Second process, isentropic compression in the jet compressor. Third, isobaric heat rejection in the air cooler. And the last, after that, it expands into the cooling turbine. And last, it will produce the refrigeration effect or isobaric heat absorption. Okay, so what is the advantage of that? This temperature is significantly reduced, which will increase the refrigeration effect. Okay, since this temperature is already too low, and when this expand in the turbine, its temperature will further decrease. Okay, now let's again see the schematic diagram of this cycle. So initially the ram air enter into the aircraft, and there is the initial compression, and we have ram air at point 2. Now this air enter into the jet compressor, where its pressure is increased. Now this air is cooled in the air cooler, and in the air cooler, for the cooling we use the ram air, but this ram air pass through the turbine, and the turbine expand this ram air. So at this point we have a low temperature and low pressure air, and this high pressure air exchange its heat with this stream. Okay, so there is a huge reduction in the temperature. So 0.4 is too low in comparison to the simple air refrigeration system, since in the simple air refrigeration system we use this ram air directly, but in the reduced ambient air system we use this ram air after the expansion. So at this point we have a low temperature, and by exchanging the heat, With the low temperature air, its temperature is significantly decreased, and this air enter into the cooling turbine where it's reject its heat, where it expand and its pressure and temperature decrease. Then it enter into the cabin where it absorb the heat or produce the refrigeration effect. Now, this reduced ambient air system is clear. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Point to be noted, this reduced ambient air refrigeration system is used for the high-speed aircraft, supersonic speed. Okay. So we have studied the different air refrigeration system which is used in the aircraft. Okay. Now there is a term DART, dry air rated temperature, and this is very important. और एग्जाम में, यूनिवर्सिटी एग्जाम में कई बार आ भी चुका है. सिंपल 2 नंबर का क्वेश्चन भी आता है और 10 नंबर का क्वेश्चन भी आता है. ओके, एंड दिस इज वेरी सिंपल. Dry air rated temperature is defined as a temperature of the dry air at the outlet of expander or turbine. So we have seen the different cycles: simple air refrigeration system, bootstrap air refrigeration system, regenerative air refrigeration system, reduced ambient air refrigeration system. So all the system we have a cooling turbine, and in the cooling turbine the high pressure air expand, and at the outlet of the turbine we have cabin pressure and low temperature. So the temperature at the outlet of the turbine is known as dry air rated temperature. That is clear? What is DART? The temperature at the outlet of the turbine. This point is clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thus, the capacity of refrigerating unit giving m dot kg per second of air. Suppose the mass flow rate is m dot. Suppose the mass flow rate in the refrigeration system is m dot. So what is the refrigeration capacity? If the DART is T naught, it means the outlet temperature is T naught. The outlet temperature is T naught. So what will be the refrigeration capacity of the cabin temperature TC? So since we have seen the different cycles, so I am drawing a simple air refrigeration system. So since this is the ambient pressure and this is the RAM pressure and this is the first air cooler pressure and this is the cabin pressure. So first air is compressed 1 to 2 in due to the RAM effect. Okay, then 2 to 3 isentropic compression in the jet compressor. Then 3 to 4 is isobaric heat rejection, and 4 to 5 expansion in the turbine, and this is the cabin pressure. So this T5 is equal to T naught. This is the DART, dry air rated temperature. Clear? And if the cabin temperature is 6, what will the refrigeration effect? What will be the refrigeration effect? In this cycle, what will be the refrigeration effect? How we calculate the refrigeration effect?
Sir, m dot Cp T6 minus T5.
Very good. M dot Cp T6 minus T5. Similarly, if this cabin temperature is Tc, and the temperature at the outlet of the turbine is T naught, what will be the refrigeration effect? M dot Cp Tc minus T naught. That is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thus, the various aircraft refrigeration system are compared using dry air rated temperature with Mach number. So, what is the significance of this DART? Why we are talking about DART? हम इसकी बात क्यों कर रहे हैं? Just give me a 1 minute. Why we are talking about DART? What is its significance? क्या इसका use है? क्यों इसकी बात कर रहे हैं? Since this is used to compare the different air refrigeration system with Mach number. We know we have seen the simple air refrigeration system without evaporative cooling, with evaporative cooling. Then we have seen bootstrap air refrigeration system with evaporative cooling or without evaporative cooling. Then we have seen the reduced ambient air, sorry, regenerative air refrigeration system. And last, we have seen the reduced ambient air system. So these all are air refrigeration system which is utilized in the aircraft. But they are a different type of aircraft. Some is moving with a high speed, some are using, some are flying at low height, some are flying at a high height. So there are different type of aircraft, and we have different type of air refrigeration system. Okay, so if you want to compare these refrigeration system, we can compare these refrigeration system with the help of this dry air rated temperature. Sorry. So we can compare different type of air refrigeration system with the help of this DART and Mach number. Okay, what is Mach number? What is Mach number? What is Mach number? How we define Mach number?
So C over A.
C by A. Okay, where C is the velocity of the aircraft and A is the velocity of the sound in the medium or acoustic velocity. Okay, so here we have a chart, and on the x-axis we have a Mach number, and on the y-axis we have a dry air rated temperature in degree centigrade. So if you see, this is the simple air refrigeration system, simple system, and this is the curve for bootstrap air refrigeration system, and this is the regenerative air refrigeration system, and this one is reduced ambient air refrigeration system. Sorry, this is the reduced ambient air refrigeration system, and this is the simple evaporative cooling. It means simple air refrigeration system with evaporative cooling, and the last one is the bootstrap air refrigeration system with evaporative cooling. So we have seen all the refrigeration systems, okay, air refrigeration system. So this is the Mach number, okay. If the Mach number is 1, it means the velocity of the aircraft is equal to the velocity of the sound. Okay, and if the Mach number is greater than 1, we can say the aircraft is moving with a supersonic speed. Okay, and if the aircraft is moving with a low speed, less than the velocity of the sound or acoustic velocity, we say this is the subsonic velocity. And if it is flying with a Mach number 1, it means sonic velocity. Okay, so you can see this is the simple air refrigeration system. If the Mach number is 0.4, what is the DART? Approximately -15. So -15 is the outlet of the temperature of the outlet air from the cooling turbine in the simple air refrigeration system. If we increase the Mach number, this temperature is increased. And at Mach number 1, it is approximately equal to 0. And if we further increase the temperature, this temperature is further decreased. So for the refrigeration purpose, since the temperature of the cabin approximately maintained at 20 degrees centigrade or 25 degrees centigrade. So if we on the air conditioner, we required the low temperature. So this DART is very important. If this temperature is high, it means it will not produce the refrigeration effect. How will it absorb the heat? That is clear or not? ये चीज क्लियर हुई या नहीं? ये चीज समझ में आ रही है नहीं आ रही है? Yes or no? अगर
No, sir.
अगर बेटा कूलिंग, अगर ये टेम्परेचर ही कम नहीं होगा तो ये हीट एब्जॉर्ब कैसे करेगा यहां से? रेफ्रिजरेशन इफेक्ट कैसे मिलता है? जब इन दोनों के बीच में डिफरेंस होगा तभी तो रेफ्रिजरेशन कैपेसिटी अचीव करेगा. if this T naught is close to Tc, how will it produce the desired refrigeration effect? देखो, अगर एयरक्राफ्ट मूव कर रहा है लो स्पीड से, जब लो स्पीड से चलता है तो जो सिंपल एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन सिस्टम होता है उसमें क्या होता है, जो आउटलेट होता है, कूलिंग टरबाइन का आउटलेट होता है, वो अप्रोक्सीमेटली यहाँ पर मिलना होता है। और जब जैसे ही हाई स्पीड में पहुंचने लगता है तो उसका टेम्परेचर भी साथ में इंक्रीज करने लगता है। अगर हम वेरी हाई, कोई ऐसा एयरक्राफ्ट है जो हाई मैक नंबर पे चल रहा है सपोज यहाँ पर, तो यहाँ पर अगर चेक करेंगे तो उसका जो आउटलेट टेम्परेचर है वो कितना मिल रहा है कूलिंग टरबाइन का, अबव द 30। अगर अबव द 30 अगर हमारे पास एयर है तो उससे हम रेफ्रिजरेशन इफेक्ट प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं केबिन में, यस और नो?
नो सर।
तो इसका मतलब ये जो ड्राई एयर रेटेड टेम्परेचर है ये क्या होना चाहिए?
कम होना चाहिए सर।
कम होना चाहिए, ठीक है। जितना ज्यादा केबिन का टेम्परेचर अगर 20 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड है तो ये सफिशिएंटली, जितना लो होगा उतना मास फ्लो रेट हमारा कम हो जाएगा, उतना हमको कम मास फ्लो रेट ले जाना पड़ेगा। और जितना कम मास फ्लो रेट ले जाएंगे वहां से हमारा कंप्रेशन वर्क भी कम होगा, क्योंकि कंप्रेशन वर्क क्या हो रहा है, किस पे रिस्पॉन्सिबल है? एम डॉट पे, एम डॉट सीपी T2 माइनस T3 माइनस T2। क्लियर? क्लियर और नॉट?
यस सर।
श्रीकांत क्लियर है? श्रीकांत?
यस सर।
विशेष? विशेष? okay, so this is for the simple air refrigeration system. So that's why I have told you, जब मैंने सिंपल एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन सिस्टम पढ़ाया था उस टाइम मैंने आपको बोला था कि जो सिंपल एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन सिस्टम होता है ये लो स्पीड एयरक्राफ्ट के लिए यूज होता है। किसके लिए होता है? लो स्पीड एयरक्राफ्ट, जब मैक नंबर हमारा क्या हो, सबसोनिक रेंज में हो। और जैसे जैसे एयरक्राफ्ट की वेलोसिटी बढ़ेगी हमारा जो ये सिंपल एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन सिस्टम है ये फेल हो जाएगा, ये कूलिंग प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर पाएगा। इसीलिए हमको दूसरे सिस्टम की जरूरत पड़ी, और वो सिस्टम क्या था? बूट स्ट्रैप एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन सिस्टम। बूट स्ट्रैप एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन सिस्टम यू कैन कंपेयर। अगर आपको -10 पे अगर कूलिंग चाहिए तो अगर आप दोनों को कंपेयर करें तो ये यहाँ पर जो मैक नंबर आ रहा है वो अप्रोक्सीमेटली 0.6 आ रहा है, और यहाँ पर क्या आ रहा है मैक नंबर 1.4। यानी कि हाई स्पीड पर भी जो अच्छी कूलिंग दे सकता है वो कौन है? बूट स्ट्रैप एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन सिस्टम। दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर हिमांशु?
यस सर।
Okay. And the another system is regenerative air refrigeration system, and this is also a similar to the bootstrap air refrigeration system. तो चाहे आप bootstrap air refrigeration system यूज कर लीजिए या regenerative air refrigeration system यूज कर लीजिए, दोनों ही बेटर हैं for higher Mach number. Okay. If the Mach number is too high, अगर Mach number बहुत ज्यादा हाई हो गया तो हम कौन सा यूज करेंगे? अगर मैक नंबर कितना चले गया 2.6 के अराउंड, तो हम कौन सा यूज करेंगे? रिड्यूस्ड एम्बिएंट एयर, जो हमने अभी सबसे लास्ट में पढ़ा था। क्लियर? नाउ इफ यू वांट टू यूज द सिंपल सिस्टम, so we have to use the evaporative cooling. So if we use the evaporative cooling, we can also use the simple air refrigeration system with evaporative cooling. So we have to use simple air refrigeration system with evaporative cooling. Similarly, if you want to use bootstrap air refrigeration system for higher speed, so we will use bootstrap air refrigeration system with evaporative cooling. So this chart is clear? This chart is clear?
यस सर।
तो आपको क्या करना है, आपको ये डायग्राम एज इट इज नोट करना है। ये एग्जाम में ड्रॉ करने के लिए आता है, और जहां पर जो मैक नंबर पे जो वेलोसिटी जैसे कर्व जा रहा है वैसे ही आपको ड्रॉ करना है। क्लियर? ओके, सो द फॉलोइंग कंक्लूजन कैन बी ड्रॉन फ्रॉम द चार्ट। तो हमने अभी चार्ट का डिस्कशन किया, और इस चार्ट के डिस्कशन से हम कुछ कंक्लूजन निकाल रहे हैं कि जो सिंपल सिस्टम इज सुटेबल फॉर लो स्पीड एयरक्राफ्ट। जो सिंपल सिस्टम होता है वो कहाँ यूटिलाइज करते हैं हम? सिंपल सिस्टम यूज होता है लो स्पीड एयरक्राफ्ट में। वी हैव आल्सो सीन द सिंपल सिस्टम इज यूज्ड इन द लो स्पीड एयरक्राफ्ट, इससे कम में लो स्पीड एयरक्राफ्ट में। और जो बूटस्ट्रैप और रीजनरेटिव एयर सिस्टम है आर बेटर फॉर लो स्पीड एयरक्राफ्ट। अगर हमने लो स्पीड एयरक्राफ्ट में अगर हमने बूटस्ट्रैप और रीजनरेटिव यूज कर लिए तो बहुत अच्छा है। और ये क्या है, हाई स्पीड के लिए भी, अगर हम सुपरसोनिक स्पीड में चले जाएं वहां के लिए भी बेटर है। तो बूटस्ट्रैप एंड रीजनरेटिव कैन आल्सो बी यूज्ड इन सुपरसोनिक स्पीड। ओके, However, regenerative system is better than bootstrap system. So we have seen that कि ये जो bootstrap और regenerative system है, इनको हम मैक नंबर 1 से भी ज्यादा में यूज कर सकते हैं. अगर मैक नंबर 1 से ज्यादा है तब भी हम इनको यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं. अभी भी इनका टेम्परेचर 0 के करीब है यहां तक भी. तो सुपरसोनिक स्पीड में यूज कर सकते हैं, सोनिक और सुपरसोनिक स्पीड में यूज कर सकते हैं. मगर जो रीजनरेटिव सिस्टम है वो थोड़ा सा अच्छा है इससे बूटस्ट्रैप एयर रेफ्रिजरेशन. दैट इज क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Point is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, reduced ambient air. Reduced ambient air is most suitable for very high Mach number. Hence, it is only suitable for supersonic aircraft. So, in the supersonic aircraft, we use reduced ambient air refrigeration system. Okay. And the last point, simple and bootstrap system with evaporative cooling can be used for higher Mach number. तो अगर हमारा मैक नंबर बहुत ज्यादा है और हमारे पास सिस्टम सिंपल या बूटस्ट्रैप ही है तो हमको इवेपोरेटिव कूलिंग यूज करके हम उनको भी यूज कर सकते हैं. सो दीज आर द सिंपल ऑब्जर्वेशन फ्रॉम दिस चार्ट. और ये चार्ट आपको एज इट इज याद करना है एग्जाम के लिए. ये 10 नंबर का क्वेश्चन आता है और छोटा सा है, सिर्फ कुछ पॉइंट्स हैं, 5 पॉइंट हैं और 10 नंबर का क्वेश्चन है. मगर आपको आंसर जो क्वेश्चन है उसमें मार्क्स कम मिलेंगे जब ये आप चार्ट अच्छे से ड्रॉ करेंगे और ये जो कंक्लूजन्स हैं इनको आप मेंशन करेंगे. दिस चार्ट इज क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
एनी डाउट? एनी डाउट? आयुष चौहान, अभी त्यागी, अभिनव चौहान,
Present, sir.
अभिनव वर्मा,
Present, sir.
अभिषेक बीर,
Yes, sir.
अभिषेक चौहान,
Present, sir.
अभिषेक कुमार, अमन गुप्ता,
Yes, sir.
अमन सिंह, अर्पिता,
Sir. Aman Singh.
Yes, sir.
अरुण,
Yes, sir, Arpita.
Yes, sir, Arun.
आर्यमान,
Yes, sir.
आशुतोष,
Yes, sir.
गोपाल, हर्षित,
Yes, sir.
हिमांशु,
Yes, sir.
मयंक, नवीन,
Present, sir.
सगुन, शिवा कश्यप,
Yes, sir.
शिवा अग्रवाल,
Yes, sir.
Present, sir. Shagun present.
सूर्यकांत,
Yes, sir.
तरुण,
Yes, sir.
तरुण यादव,
Yes, sir.
उत्कर्ष, वैभव चौधरी,
Yes, sir. Utkarsh sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
वैभव चौहान, वैभव त्यागी,
Yes, sir.
विजयपाल, विशाल चौहान,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir Vijaypal.
okay,
Sir Vishal Chauhan.
okay. So now this unit is over, all the theory has been done, and we have only 4 to 5 numericals are remaining based on this air refrigeration system. Okay, so we will discuss those numerical in our upcoming lecture. So in 2 to 3 lectures this unit will be over, and then we will start the next unit, that is vapor compression refrigeration system. Okay, so this is all for today's lecture. If you have any doubt you can ask, otherwise you can leave the class.
सर आपने नाम नहीं बोला सर. श्रीकांत सर, मेल लगा दीजिएगा अटेंडेंस.
हाँ बेटा, तो आप प्रेजेंट हो, ठीक है.
सर मेरा
Thank
भी
you,
नहीं बोला.
कौन?
सर आशुतोष.
आशुतोष बोला था बेटा, आप प्रेजेंट नहीं बोला आपने. ओके,
सॉरी सर.